She could see women in the windows on the upper floors of houses on both sides, shaking blankets, carpets, and throwing chamber pots out into the street. In addition to all the pedestrians, Emily noticed that there were several horse-drawn carriages and men and women riding horses in and around the area. What is going on here? Emily wondered to herself. This is the antique quarter, but where's Robert's shop and the other shops that were here? Where am I? She then makes an attempt to ask the woman in French, Madame, pardon, but where are we? And who are you? Why was I brought here? Madame, please, wait, don't run. I just want to ask you a question. The woman turns around and begins to run away from Emily. Emily begins to run after her, starting to regret her choice of black stiletto pumps. Eventually, Emily lost her balance because her left pump slid against a soiled stone on the street, which caused her to fall. For a while she just lies there, until a gentleman comes over to help her. Are you all right, madame? Do you need to see a doctor? No, I'm fine. Thank you for helping me. Excuse me, monsieur, but where am I, and dare I ask what year? You're in Dijon, madame, and the year is 1564. Why? Emily gulped. I've traveled through time. How is this possible? Well, that stone was odd. And why did I encounter that woman? I must be dreaming. Maybe I've hit my head. This can't be real. I asked because I wanted to make sure that I knew where I was considering. I was so foolish to fall, replies Emily, hoping that the young man would accept his excuse as valid. All right, madame, as it suits thee, he replies, rather perplexed by her response. Listen, I am looking for a middle-aged woman wearing a black hooded mantle and an amber and white-colored dress. Have you seen her? I'm sorry, I don't know who you are talking about. However, I often do see hooded figures going to yonder house there, he replies, pointing towards another small street to the right. Emily looks in the direction that the man points. She then turns to look at him and asks, Do you know why? What do you know about the master of that house? There's lots of stories about him, more like rumors than truth. Apparently he's a merchant who loves to practice alchemy. He's a recluse most of the time when he's not doing business. Unfortunately, that's all I know. If you're looking for an obscure figure, I would seek her over there. Thank you. With that, Emily walked down the street and headed towards the house. Once she arrives, she knocks on the door. She's greeted by a middle-aged gentleman wearing a servant's uniform. Yes, madame, can I help you? Is your master home? I need to speak with him, please. I'm sorry, but he's busy right now, and he's not taking visitors. May I please take a message? No, monsieur, I beseech you. I need to speak to your master. It is an urgent matter, replies Emily impatiently. Very well, madame. I will speak with him and see if he can make an exception for you. The servant then left and was gone for about 5 minutes. He finally returned and said, Yes, madame, you may come in. Emily followed the man towards a dark back room, which had been converted into an alchemy laboratory. In the corner of the room she saw a thin, middle-aged man working carefully with some melted substances. Monsieur Robert, this woman wishes to speak with you. Entrez. The servant left, and Emily was left alone with Monsieur Robert. As she slowly walked towards him, she looked around her and noticed that lying next to Monsieur Robert was the same stone she had touched earlier. How can I help you, madame? Inquired Monsieur Robert, still working diligently as he spoke, despite the fact that Emily was standing right behind him. Monsieur Robert, I am here because I cannot believe that I am saying this, but I've traveled through time. This morning, I was in Dijon's antique quarter. In the year 2012, and now I am in Dijon in the year 1564. The reason why I'm here to talk to you is because I want to return back to my time, and I believe a cloaked woman who is associated with you brought me here with that stone next to you. Monsieur Robert looks at his side to see the stone that Emily was pointing at. He picks it up and scrutinizes it briefly. Emily notices that the stone illuminates slightly, but it stops the moment he sets it aside. Can you describe this woman to me who you saw transported you here? I couldn't see her face because it was obscured by the hood of a black manteau, replied Emily. However, I do recall that she was wearing an amber and white dress, and that her arms were slightly withered, indicated to me that she was middle-aged. She held the stone out to me, whom was glowing when she presented it to me, and when I touched it, it became luminescent and windy, and the next thing I know, I'm in 1564 Dijon. Maybe it was my wife. However, really, it couldn't be anyone who come by this house. I don't mean to pry, but why is there so much secrecy around your work and the people who visit you? Can you please explain to me what this stone is? Woman, I cannot reveal to you the reason for the secrecy. However, I think you have answered the question that this is truly the Stone of Truth. The Stone of Truth? What is the Stone of Truth? The Stone of Truth is a legendary creation that every alchemist dreams about. According to legend, the Stone of Truth is created through the harnessing the powers of nature: earth, wind, fire, and water. These powers are harnessed by the coalescence of various elements to create a stone that can perform wonders beyond the comprehension of man. I know it had powers, however, I didn't realize it could transport people through time. Incredible, replies Emily. Well then, how do I get back to my time? Can you help me? Monsieur Robert picks up the stone and holds it out with his right hand for Emily to grasp. Take the Stone of Truth. If it brought you here, it can take you back to your time. Thank you, Monsieur Robert, replied Emily. With that, she took the stone from his hands and grasped it tight with both of her hands. The stone began to illuminate as before, and she was surrounded by wind. Then everything goes white. Once the white fades away, Emily finds herself sitting on her bed in her hotel. What happened to me? Was I dreaming? I must have been dreaming. But then she saw it. On the floor, she sees the stone. She slowly bends down to pick it up, and as soon as she does, it begins to glow. As soon as this happens, Emily drops it back onto the floor and creeps away. I guess it wasn't a dream. It really happened. The end. Well, thank you for tuning in for this reading sample from A Murder of All Hallows Eve and Other Short Stories. The reading sample that you heard today was a story called The Antiques Quarter, which is found on page 92 of the paperback version. Remember, you can purchase Murder on All Hallows Eve and Other Short Stories on Amazon.com as a paperback and or Kindle. Please also remember to like my author's page on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Danielle Swisher Author, and also to visit my author's webpage, http://DanielleSwisherAuthor.webs.com. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Goodbye.